Just when America has reached a breaking point with division, visionary influencer Danni Benson's I'm Proud of You Sis bro movement taps into the pulse and heartbeat of a culture radically torn. But this loving mom's voice of reason and calm has received national recognition.
How'd you balance having your children and always traveling with the Yankee organization?
When I became a dad, I said that I would always love like a mother.
I feel like I have to try certain things or act a different way because I know some people or some kids.
So join Danni Benson as she celebrates her special guests on her show and highlights their gifts and contributions to our world.
Hi, everyone. My name is Danni Benson, host of I'm Proud of You Sis. Thank you for joining. Please like, share, follow, comment. I so appreciate all your support. And don't forget to watch me on cable on Channel 20 at 9 a.m. every Saturday. I hope everyone had a beautiful day today. I'm so happy you can join me. Today, I have Ashli Gibbs here to talk about entrepreneurship and, the good things about entrepreneurship, the hard things about entrepreneurship, and how to launch a brand. Right now, a lot of people are looking for second incomes, especially because of inflation. So we want to talk to this person who is an entrepreneur to get the ins and outs of how to be successful in the entrepreneurship game. So I want to welcome Ashli Gibbs.
Hi, Danni. Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine. How was your day today?
It was well, and yours?
Great, great. I wanted to talk to you about entrepreneurship because a lot of people are diving into it ever since after COVID, because a lot of people are looking for second incomes. Inflation is here. A lot of people don't want to go back to work because they want to pursue their dreams, and they had a lot of time sitting at home and thinking about how they can manage their finances to maybe pursue their passion. So I know you are an entrepreneur and you launch brands, and you're a woman too. So how difficult it is to even get into the entrepreneurship game.
Well, first thing first, it's all in your faith. So when you launch a brand, you have to sit down and you have to say to yourself, am I ready for this? And you have to believe in yourself. You have to look in that mirror and you have to say, I'm that person. And once you realize that you're that person, you're able to move forward. The second thing is you need to come up with a plan. What does that plan actually look like? And that plan has to be efficient, effective, and executable. It can't be just something that you think, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to open up a brand, and it doesn't work in that manner. It works when you completely plan it out and you have everything set in place. Now, will it always go according to plan? Of course not. There will be issues that you will encounter, but you push through. You create a team if you can at that time, because sometimes when you're in small business, it's hard to have a team. It's hard to pay people. You may not have that additional disposable income to create a salary, but you figure it out in terms of who else is on the same path as me? Who else is like-minded? So with that being said, the best way to move forward after you've created your plan, you've started to execute it, is to now say, is this working for me? After about a 6-month trial, 6 to 12 months, you look at it and you say, is this making me money or am I losing too much money? If it's losing money and you still feel like it's going to move forward, eventually you see the momentum building, then you can stick it out another couple of months as long as you have the additional nest egg in place. If your money is dwindling and you're down to your last cents, You stop. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm not going to move forward. You're never a failure. It's always a learning experience, and you move on to the next best thing.
So when you say you're not a failure, how do you, if this is your dream, if you and you've always wanted to do this, what do you, so the decision is financial, is a financial decision if you should stop pursuing your dream? Because sometimes when you are an entrepreneur, in the beginning, you probably are going to be more in the red than in the black. So what is that determining factor? Is it because you can't pay your bills? You can't live your lifestyle? Like, what is that determining factor? So you know, okay, enough.
The
I
determining
have to pursue
factor
something
is
else.
when you will feel it. You will feel it. It's not going to just be in the pocket. You're going to feel it mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. You will feel it. You will know when it's time to get out. You will know if you're overwhelmed. You'll know if you're draining yourself. If you're in something because it's a dream, that's great. But dreams don't always pay bills, right? So when you see that the dream is not going the way that it should go, according to plan, then sometimes you have to back up, regroup, maybe take a break, and come back and do it again. Now come back stronger. I've been there. I've had a business. I did at the time say I failed, but as time went on, I realized that I did not fail. I just went through a process to be able to make me stronger. Now, my first hair company, when we met, I had to get out of that business because I lost everything because I kept going. I just was like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. And I remember once it was like, I just can't do it anymore. I have to go get a regular job, a job that's going to pay me a salary right now because I lost all my savings in my initial business. And I remember my mentor at the time telling me, like, you didn't fail. You just went through the growing pains. So now do it again. Now you know where you failed. You know where you went wrong at. So fix it. And that's what I did. And now I've never had that problem again because I know when I see the rough times, if it doesn't look like we're going to come out of that patch, I'm gone. I'm not going to stick around too long.
So when he says, what lessons did you learn from that hair business that makes you stronger now with the new ventures that you are pursuing?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, we lost connection.
What lessons that you learned from your hair business as you move forward into your new ventures that you can share with the public?
Well, the lessons that I learned in the hair business was that a lot of people are going to want things for free when it comes into the marketing point. I also learned that marketing was very important in that particular industry, which is beauty. And also I learned that I was above the curve and I've always been first to market in a lot of my businesses. And at that time, people weren't ready to move forward with what we call now bundle hair, pure Indian raw hair. They were not in touch with that space. They were still in the pack hair space, which was being sold by Asian entrepreneurs. And I was a Black entrepreneur in my community, and they was not ready to support that. So what I did not realize was that I should have gone and did more marketing. I was doing guerrilla marketing because I didn't have the money to do digital marketing and things like that. And at that time, which is 10 years ago, digital marketing wasn't not as successful as it is today. It was there, but it was extremely expensive. And you needed to have someone who was very savvy in that field to come in to help you do it. And I didn't have the money to pay someone to do that. I had 6 interns working for me that I did not have to pay, but they were starting to feel it because I was working them so hard because I'm a hard worker. And it started to crumble because my interns was like, listen, we got to go make some money. I had college students. They like, we're here every day and we're not really making any money. We're making a little money here and there, but that was the money that was paying the rent in the shop. So at the end of the day, I realized that I also should have stayed in the partnership that I initially had when I first got the deal to get in the hair business. I turned that partnership down because I felt it was a bad deal. But instead of me going back and saying, hey, can we reconsider this deal? or can we negotiate this deal again, or I counter offer to the deal that
Mm-hmm.
you've given me. I just
Mm-hmm.
immediately, I emotionally reacted versus as financially reacted. Or I didn't come to a place where I could understand what they were offering. I was just understanding what I was feeling. And business is not based off
Mm.
of feeling, it's based off of fact.
Mm. Wow, because you were definitely like the first person that I met. I remember you were grinding like it was human hair from India, and you
Right,
were right. Everyone was still doing package hair, and I remember you had your car, your bags, you had all the hair in there, and you were going from place to place, and you
right.
had like a place. Oh my God, I remember. Yeah,
Yes.
people don't even know. Like you have such an amazing story because where I see you now, you inspire me because I don't want to give up. And even if you do fail, it's not really failing. You are right. It is growing pains, meaning that it's
Right.
lessons that you have to learn so you can be better the next time you
That's
go at
right.
it again.
You're sharper, you're wiser, you're more wittier. You're more destined now to get to that finish line because you understand what it takes. It's just like an athlete. They have to keep practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing to get to that Super Bowl, right? Because it doesn't just happen when you get on the court the first time. You're going to take some losses, you're going to take some bumps, some bruises. You're going to take a lot of pain before you get to that final Super Bowl. And you still got to win when you get to the Super Bowl.
And
You
that's a
know,
lot of pressure. And
it's
when
a
you
lot
and
of
when they
pressure.
tell you take the feelings out of it, do you think it's tougher for a woman because sometimes not judging women, we put our feelings and emotions into it more, or we take it more personally because we are a more nurturing group. Do you think sometimes that makes us weaker in business and we have to learn how to compartmentalize and separate things and not take things as personal?
I don't think so. I think women are extremely strong, especially women who are mothers. I feel like if you can have a baby, you can do anything.
Yeah, you're right
Um,
about that.
and I do feel that a lot of times we get categorized because we are women, and people think that immediately you're emotional or you're not prepared for the challenge. But I think everybody just deserves an opportunity. If an opportunity is given and you have the right tools laid before you, then I think anything is possible if you know how to configure. So no, I don't think that women are the the lesser of the two. I think
That's
they
true.
are actually the tigers in the jungle because we are the ones who can pull everything together.
We
Not
can
to say that
multitask.
men are not amazing because they are as
Mm-hmm.
well. You need both,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yes.
But I think women pull everything together the most because we are moms. We do have more instinct than men. We do have a stronger fight. Whereas a man is more physically stronger, we're more stronger internally. So we understand what that punch is to the gut. When things happen that most people cannot handle. It's just like
No.
when you're going into delivery and you're having contractions, that punch to the gut is
Yes.
insane. So I
It's
feel like that's the
insane.
same thing.
And we push through. We
And
push
we
through to
push
the point
through,
that we do it again.
and we do it
We do it
again,
again.
right?
We
Keep
do it
doing it.
again. We keep doing it. We know the pain, but we know that we have to keep at it and keep doing it. So let me tell you something. How does it feel to be an entrepreneur? Is it more satisfying than working in corporate America from your take?
For my personal take, absolutely. I've done both. So I understood what it was to be on both sides of the coin. If you're somebody who is just cool with receiving a check every 2 weeks, I applaud you. But I'm not that person. I'm somebody who needs to make money every day, all day, and I need to understand where my money is coming from. If I'm working for someone, they're just giving you a specific task, and that's the task that you're fulfilling. But when you own your own business, you have to know everything that is happening in your business from A to Z, from the person who is opening the store to cleaning the store to the tax man who is doing your taxes. You have to understand every single alignment of the business in order for it to be successful. I don't want anybody to tell me what time I need to be into work. That is, to me, it doesn't work. If I want to come in at 5 in the morning, I want to come in at 5 in the morning. If I want to come in at 10 a.m., I want to come in at 10 a.m. So I don't feel that it's necessary for someone to have me um, along their lines. I want to live amongst my lines, and I want to be successful enough for me. I don't want you to tell me what is success. I know what success is. Now have four businesses. So I understand completely what success is, how to achieve it, and how to take it to the next level. And also, something big, Danny, that I think is important for women is to align yourself with other women to whom have the same ideologies, and they put you in different perspectives, meaning that they cheer you on. They introduce you to other people who can help your business
Mhm.
grow. They
Mhm.
don't talk behind your back.
Mhm.
They make you feel like, wow, I can trust you. It's not
Mhm.
catty because in a lot of industries it's difficult to get along with other women for some
Yes.
reason, which is really, really, really frustrating because you want to grow with other women, but sometimes you're just like, hey, they call me a man's girl. I'm
I'm a
always
man's
with
girl
men.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
i'm
I'm a
i'm
man's
i'm
girl too.
always with men. I'm always doing business with men because I can't get along with women for too long. I try, but I
Mhm.
haven't been super successful. But now I'm older now, so I kind of know how to pick better to whom I want to be around. So it's becoming more of a success with being around more women in the same genre of what I'm doing.
So when you say you know how to pick, just for the audience, how do you know how to pick?
You could kind of
Which
tell. Like my first opening conversation, I could really tell if you're somebody I even want to give my energy to. So you have to start with that energy. Like, okay, if that person giving you back the same energy that you're giving off, are they personable? Do do you feel like there's a little shade in the room? Does it
Mhm.
feel warm and fuzzy? Just from the door.
Yes.
If it's not that, it's over. Okay, well, it's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't want you in my space. There's nothing wrong with it. You can always be cordial, but we don't have to be friends. There's a difference. And a lot of people get that screwed up, especially in our
Confused.
generation now. Everybody wants a title. I'm a friend. A friend is something you have to earn. A friendship is something you earn. It's not something that is
Mhm.
given.
Given.
You know,
No,
we've
I
been
mean
friends 10 years,
years. Yes, we've been friends for a long time, and I am so proud of you. I look up to you. I
vice
love your
versa.
grind. Yeah, I mean, I love your grind. You're an amazing mom,
Thank you. You
raising an
too.
amazing son, and it's like so hard sometimes to balance, being a mom, being an entrepreneur. It gets to be a lot, and that's why I commend you and your effort because every time I see Ashley making moves. I know Ashley could write a book because I see you in circles that
Yeah, I
I'm
want to write a
like,
book soon. I do. That's something that's on my bucket list. Is to get a book out eventually, and just I want to inspire younger women who feel like, how could I do
yes,
this? Like, it's
yes.
anything is doable. I come from St. Nicholas Projects, and in Harlem, New York, and I moved to the Bronx when I was 10 years old to a gated community. It was like the Jeffersons. So
Mm,
I was able to live a different lifestyle. Of course, my grandmother gave me an amazing opportunity. She put me in parochial school and I soared. But like I always say in the beginning, you need the opportunity to
opportunity.
soar. And I was given
You,
that, luckily within my family structure. But sometimes it's not within the family structure. Maybe sometimes it's just an outsider who can believe in you and see something that maybe your family doesn't see.
doesn't
So I
see.
want to be able to make someone feel like you can do anything that you put your mind to as long as you put the work in. The work is the key to success.
So, do you feel like a lot of the young generation are feeling more of an entitlement versus when we were growing up?
Absolutely, because they're lazy. Everything is given to them. It's instant gratification.
Do you blame us though for us
Of
giving
course,
them everything?
because our family probably our families worked us harder.
Mhm.
So, and they gave us
Mhm.
less. So we had
Yes.
less and we got worked harder. These kids have more and they don't work at all. Look, my son, I make him take out the garbage and he's like, why? Like, are you going to pay me $25 a week to take out the garbage?
But that's why I'm asking you, did we cause that? Because my theory is because we did have less and our parents said more no's and yes. We worked
Yes.
hard for it. So
Hmm.
our thing was like, you know what? When we have kids, we're gonna make up for what our parents didn't give us, right? And
Absolutely.
then so now the kids have the phones, the iPad, the computers, the sneakers.
The
Don't even have to work
games.
hard for it. They get everything. But then I'm like, wow, but we're making them miss a step. We're taking the grind out of them. We're taking the hustle out of them. We're taking the every time my parents said no, we would be like, oh, really? Okay, I'm going to show you I can do it. So we would go get that job. We would find ways to get what we wanted, even though our parents
Right.
didn't want to do it. So
My grandmother
are
said
we?
something like that the other day. Like, I would go and sneak jobs when I was in high school. And she'd be like, well, where are you working at? I'm like, I'm working at the Circle Line now. She's like, well, I didn't know you wouldn't take the interview with the Circle Line.
No, but that was like our generation, though. Our parents
Yes,
said no, and we were like, okay, we gotta go get that job. I don't know, it's making like
always.
$5 an hour, $6 an hour. I was just you were just making it happen, and then you would walk in, your parents was like, oh, so you
Oh,
got it,
where'd you
you
get that
got
extra
it,
money from?
yeah, you got it. But you know what? That built a character in me where when someone said no to me, it's like, oh, I understand how to get it. So you're gonna say no to me, I'll know how to get around you, through you, because I learned how to hustle. So what can we do for our kids now to kind of switch them back to the mode of how we were raised?
Take the game away. And the
You
game
talk about,
gives us free time. I know.
I know,
I have one. I
I
know.
have, I'm gonna tell you something. I feel
The
like the
game is
iPad.
horrible.
I feel like the iPad is a new crack cocaine.
Yeah,
I
the
feel like it's a
iPad,
drug.
the
It's
game,
very
the
addictive.
phone.
You pull it away. Sometimes I pull away from my
They
kid.
ready to
And then
fight. They ready to
they're
fight you
ready.
when you pull it away. Oh, I know.
That's. I mean, I'm like, and I really want someone to write a book about that. I think it's really an addiction. Like the kids can't get off of it. You take that away, it's like their whole life is over with. That's why I don't even want to introduce them to the phone. But we got to put the grind in our children.
But
We
then
got to find a
they have
way.
to have a phone now because due to the fact that, times are different, they have to have something that they can contact us on immediately.
But you know what?
So
But you know what? Times are different. You think times are worse now because when we were growing up, we didn't have a phone, and we managed to get from A to B.
I think times are worse
So
now because I think people are bolder. People will snatch a kid in the middle of the day, where back in the day it wasn't like that. It was more discreet. Your kid went missing, you didn't really know how. But now people are snatching kids via the game. Like, hey, meet me right here. And because the games are so impressionable upon the kids, they're actually able to get them to do things that we probably wouldn't have done. So it's important for them to have the phone so they can be tracked. That's why I like it. I can track
no,
them. I can
you.
find out what they're doing. I mean, like my son can't download anything unless I know about it. And
Yeah,
again,
me
I'm a
too.
work in progress with that as well because I'm busy very often. So I do let him play the game a lot, but I do know that it's just not good because again, when he does something that I don't like or I'm not very fond of, it's difficult to say, "Hey, give me the game." It's like it's an
I know.
argument or it's a fight, and I'm like, I shouldn't be arguing with my 13-year-old. I wouldn't even dare do anything like that
Do do with that with
when
our
I was
parents
13.
argue.
I
It
was
was
scared to death. But I don't think I instilled that fear that we had. Remember I had no TV. My
that
girl would
fear.
take TV for the month, not the week, the month.
The month.
And you better have read a book every day with some type of book report at the end of the
Mhm.
week to know what that's
Yes.
about.
Okay, so how are we going to build a future generation to withstand what is going on in our current situation? I mean, there's inflation. There's so much going on in the country right now. Are these kids ready for the battle to come?
I don't think that they're ready because again, everything is just given to them versus them having to work for it. And in a battle, you have to be able to train, and a lot of them they don't even know what training is because just everything is set before them because we felt that we were negligent of things, so we've given them everything that we felt that we lacked. But the way that we can increase um, the visibility of our children getting better is to work together. We have to come together as parents, as moms, as dads, and we need to come up with the plans. Like, again, it's important for us to share
Hmm.
ideas and work together to execute them. If you can't do anything alone, it always takes a village to raise children.
Yes,
And
it
if
definitely
you
does.
don't work together, it's like you're trying to figure out everything on your own, and it just doesn't work. It's overwhelming, and sometimes it's mind-boggling, and that could create a sense of doubt within yourself, and that's not something that you want as a parent.
No, you definitely don't want that. Ashley, I want to ask you, how are you so you have high self esteem, high self worth? Like, was that ingrained in you, or it was
No,
something along the
no,
way
no,
with just
no.
failures and just building yourself up?
Um,
Because when I listen to you, I'm like, wow, like this woman. See, you know, you deserve to be in the room.
mhm.
When I listen to you, it's like you have this confidence, like I have a seat on the table, and I'm not even going to ask you. I'm just going to pull it out, and
I'm
I'm
just
going to
gonna
sit
sit
down
down.
and take a seat. Yes,
Yeah,
without saying, "Excuse me, can I sit here,
no, that's my
please?"
seat. Excuse me.
Yeah. So how did you build this confidence?
The bumps and bruises. The
The,
people saying that maybe you don't belong or shunning me because I wasn't a size 8 or I wasn't uh, light skinned or I wasn't, graduate of Harvard. I sound very well educated, but I went to a black college, but at the end of the day, what I learned is that I'm a deal maker and I'm a deal executor and I know how to get the deal funded. So once I learned that I knew how to do that, I was like, oh, it's not a lot of people out here who could do this. Oh, so that's what it is. It's the deal maker, the deal funder.
you
Those are the
found your
people.
niche. You found your
Yeah, I
niche.
found my niche. And once I found my niche, I was like, oh, I have to live up to this niche. So I looked in the mirror every single day and I told myself, I'm that lady. I'm that person. And it would get me hyped up and it gives me my little zhuzh and I go out and I become Ashley, because Ash is just a person who, is just cool and more relaxed. But when I'm Ashley, it's like, don't play with me because I know my stuff. You
Well,
can't
viewers,
whirl me around in a circle and think I don't know what's going on because that's what happens a lot of times in business. A lot of people come out and they just try to spin you. But if I know that you really spinning me, I'm like, oh, that's not it. So then I come with the right answer, and everybody is like, oh my God, like she knows.
well, I want to tell our viewers, Cable, thank you for joining. I'm proud of you, sis. I'm host Danni Benson, and I want to say I'm so proud to my wonderful guest, Ashli Gibbs. I'm so proud of her, sis. Thank you for tuning in, and for our live audience, please hold on a second. Thank you.
Sure. Oh, back.
Yes, yes,
Awesome.
Ashley. So what were you saying? So you talked about your weight and your appearance, and a lot of people would have faltered. A lot of people would have been like, because this world's so physical. It's
Right.
all about the, especially when you're women. It's all about the way you look. The way you look. You could be the smartest person in the room, and it all comes down to, oh, the way you look. The way you look. How did you push through the physical part? Meaning that, because people, Lizzo, I think she's beautiful. Like I'm not infatuated with the way someone looks. What interests me is someone's brain. That's what gets me like
Me too.
excited about somebody. You know, I don't care about the way the person looks because looks is superficial. I know so many pretty girls who have like horrible hearts, not that
Right.
smart. So I can't base things on, oh, their hair is right, their nails is right. So that means they
Right.
have credibility. You know, what credibility is to me is when I listen to what their brain is saying and what conversations
Exactly.
they're talking about.
Exactly.
So how did you push through in a world of just like, especially the
Vanity.
industry you're in? Yes.
I realized that my brain was pretty,
Wow.
you know?
I
And
love
then
that.
once I realized my brain was pretty, I was like, oh wow, you're gorgeous, you know? And
Wow.
and then that was it. Once I knew that, it was just you couldn't take anything from me. I've always been a dresser, you know, I've always been snazzy. So that was like that was a bonus, you know? And then when I realized it was just I had the smarts to compete with the top, with the best of the best. I said, it's me. I'm that girl. It's just not nobody can take nothing from me no more. Whereas before I was like, you know, I was real timid but I was aggressive, but I was timid. But then I learned how to deal with the room and I learned how to deal with personalities. You know, personality is big. You know, sometimes you got to go high and low. Sometimes you can't be so aggressive. I used to be really aggressive and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
always just like, oh, like that's not it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to come down a little bit and listen more versus talk. And then come up with the solution later after they tell you what the budget is.
Oh, you definitely gotta write a book. These kids need to know. You're dropping
Right.
knowledge right now.
Right.
And this is, and you know what it is? You have street smarts, but you also have book smarts.
Right.
You're like a threat because
Right.
it's like you could get into crowds and you're a chameleon. You know, the way you're successful in networking and in crowds is always knowing how to read the room.
Right.
Always knowing, you know, the handshake has to be firm. Like I shake people's
Firm.
hands like firm, like because this is business. This is not a personal. This is
Right.
business. I'm gonna shake
Never
shake your
personal.
hands like I mean it. This is business, right?
Right.
So when you walk into a room and there's other people there, what are the 3 things that you want them to know about you?
That I don't
When you
take
enter
no
the room.
crap. The first thing is I don't play. So that's the first thing. The second thing is when are we going to cut the check? That's the second thing.
So you like to
And
close.
And the third thing is come to me after you've done your due diligence on who I am. And that's my 3 things. Because at the end of the day, you got to know who you're dealing with. That's why when you said read the room, know that I'm not somebody who just woke up and said I wanted to be here. I'm somebody who made it here. And I belong. I wasn't invited. I brought myself in. Because I know that I belong here. And just like you have money and things of that nature, I may not be a billionaire, but I'm comfortable. So I can understand the conversations that you're having and I can sit there and be fulfilled with you just as you fulfill with me.
Amazing. Amazing because I hear the younger generation who feel offended about this. Look, bullying is bad. I get it. All these things that happen.
Bullying,
But you know
all was
what? But
bullied.
we got bullied. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not
they
saying
used
it's
to
right
call
or
me
wrong,
Free
but we got
Willy. They used to call me Free Willy when I was young and I used to play basketball. I was like one of the only Black girls in a Catholic school with a bunch of Italian people. That's why I got so tough. And it was devastating. I used to come home and cry all the time. And I remember my grandmother like, yo, get up. Like, what is Free Willy? What is that? She's like, what are you talking about? Get to the books. And I used to be like, but Mama, what are you talking about? It hurts my feelings. Feelings? She said, feelings don't pay the bills. And I was like, okay, I guess. And then I went back to school and I was tough. And I'm not saying you should fight, but I remember beating up the person who told me that I was free willy. And then everybody backed off. Now everybody wanted to be my friend. And that's just kind of what it is in life too. I'm not saying be violent, but what I am saying is you have to make the one person an example who thinks they're the loudest in the room.
You gotta stand up for yourself. I tell my
You have
girls
to
that all the
stand up for
time.
yourself and be secure when you're standing up for yourself. Don't be trembling and shaking. You have to be secure and know that yes, it's me, it's I, and I am she.
Mm. Oh wow, I'm so proud of you, sis, because
Thank you.
I was bullied too, and sometimes I think that that's why we all had like this tough armor, you know, our generation, because we were used to all the bad words, harassment, and we still had to go to school every single day and find ways to deal with it or stand up for yourself. But we took it in and it made us stronger. And I'm not saying bullying is a good thing, but I feel like the kids these days, I think that we're making them weaker to say that if someone is bullying you. I tell my kids all the time, stand up for yourself, say something back. You know,
Exactly.
get your confidence together.
Say something
There's
back. Now it's, run and tell the teacher, but make them scared. Because a bully focuses on your weaknesses, and they know that there's something in you that you don't have that they have. So now you need to
sometimes a
step up
bully
and
is
show them
weak,
that you
though.
have that and
Have
more.
it. Yeah. But sometimes a bully is weak too. They're testing
Of
you.
course.
It's all a test. Like sometimes they're insecure, weak, can't fight you, but because you're not speaking up and standing up for yourself, they poke at you more. But the moment you roar, they fall back. They're like, oh, we can't mess with that one. And
Absolutely.
that's what I want people to understand in entrepreneurship. If you feel like you belong someplace, you need to make it known, I belong here, and you need to roar. So people who doubt you will fall back. And then you show them through examples and your actions and your accolades why I do belong here. And I feel like sometimes in the industry that we are in, sometimes you get intimidated by the gossip, the bullying, the talking behind the back. You know, all of these things that make you sometimes scared to walk into the room because you're trying to figure out what are they going to say next. But
Of
I
course.
commend people who get talked about and still stand tall in their own self and say, I don't care what you're going to tell me about myself. I know where I'm going. I know my purpose, and no one's going to stop me, because you can't stop people from talking about you, and you can't stop people from telling you you can't do this.
Right.
Like,
And just to piggyback on what you said about, people in the industry who talk about you, they talk about you because they want to be you. They talk about you because they want to know what the heck are you really doing. A lot of people don't even understand what I do. They just think that I'm in the industry, I'm in branding, I'm in marketing, but I've made my money in import and exporting as well as real estate. I'm in real estate 20 years. So that's a lot of my back end, money. And then everything else is just comes along with it because you need it to amplify the businesses. But what I've learned in a lot of those other companies and other businesses is that they don't even really have any money. They just have personality and presence. But that's not enough, because you have to be able to pay people. You have to be able to pay for things. Remember, I told you 10 years ago, I couldn't even pay my workers. But now it's like I would never even take anybody on board to do anything for me unless I could make some type of payment to them. Because it's an uncomfortable feeling knowing that someone's doing a task for you and you're not making sure that they're straight.
And that comes with you having your integrity. Your integrity is intact.
Your integrity is everything.
You have confidence, you have integrity, and you have leadership. And that
Absolutely.
is why I've always respected you. That is
Thank you.
why I am so proud of you, Ashli, because you have stayed consistent. I mean, I've known you for 10 years, but even before that, you have stayed true and consistent of who you are, and you did not let the industry change you to something that you were not. You actually got
Never.
even stronger,
Right.
stronger in your self-love,
Right.
stronger in who you are, stronger in your business mindset, stronger in building your brands.
Right.
And that's why people do respect you. And the
Right.
people who don't know what you do, it doesn't really matter.
Not at all. Not at
It
all.
doesn't even matter. Because the fact that you're wondering what I do, spend time, constructive time, trying to figure out how you could get to know me and how we could do business together. Stop worrying
Exactly.
about my house. Worry about what we can do and collaborate together. Because
Exactly.
that's all the pettiness that is
The pettiness
not.
is horrific. The women that I've
How we
aligned
gonna?
myself with now, like we all feel the same. One of my clients is the CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Harlem,
Hmm.
and she's
Hmm.
coming out with a campaign called You Matter. And it's for our women. Like, you matter.
Yes.
Stop worrying about what somebody else is doing. You matter. Be you. Understand you. Because the moment you understand you, you will take off. It'll be a complete success. But the moment you keep wondering what someone else is doing, you're in their business, you're never going to be successful and you're never going to be blessed
Because you're
because you're
wasting
worrying about
time.
the wrong things.
Yes, you're wasting time. That you're wasting the time that you're given to be thinking about things that really don't even matter in your success in life.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter. But Ashley, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule for coming
Thank
on. I'm
you.
proud of you, sis. You know I am proud of you.
Proud of you
I
as
am
well.
so happy you are glowing. I am so happy that you are where you at now, and I cannot wait to see where you at next year, 2 years from now, five
Right.
years from now.
Right.
You will. I don't know if you're a millionaire yet because I'm not looking in your pockets, but if you're not, I know you are close to being a millionaire. So I want to say
How
I'm proud
about
of you,
this? I'm
sis.
I'm very comfortable. That's what we're gonna say.
Ah!
And I want
Love you,
everybody to
Ash.
to go out and have the drink Harlem Standard, which is our whiskey, where I'm one of the partners. And I want them to enjoy a glass of bourbon in an old fashioned or one of our recipes of Boulevard. Yeah. You can find us at harlemstandard.com. And I would love feedback on what they think of the brand.
Definitely. Give your handle so they can send you feedback.
My handle is Ash_housing on Instagram, and I'm under Ashli Gibbs on LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for coming on. I'm proud of you, sis. Thank you guys for
Thank
joining.
you.
See you guys
Have a
next
great
week.
day.
Bye.
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 Perfect.